All right, so physics as a philosophy for practicing life. And when I say for practicing life, I can mean like anything from DevOps life to your actual life to just washing the dishes. But one of my favorite classes was quantum mechanics. It was also the hardest class. It looked a lot like this all the time in my brain. And I learned one of the most important lessons in that class, that everything is relative. Absolutely everything, from your forces to how you feel about other people to the conflicts that you manage on your teams. It's all relative. And I have this lovely Newton's second equation because, of course, we're going to start at 2 instead of at 1. And we're going to talk a lot about force, about the other side of the equation, the mass and the acceleration. But when I tell you about it, it's going to give you a little bit of clue into like my worldview and how I think about people. So for force is, that thing that happens, like if I jump up and down, gravity's got me, it's a force. It is also, there's mass and acceleration. So mass is, me, yeah. And acceleration is whether or not I'm moving and how fast I'm going and how far I'm going over time. I will also break these down a little bit more. Don't go tell my professors that I'm doing very fuzzy math. Please and thanks. So force equals mass times acceleration. This is the law of inertia we're talking about first. This is an object at rest, tends to stay at rest until it is acted upon by another force, an outside force usually, right? So me standing right here right now, I'm pretty solid. But how many of you are actually inertial at work? Content, so you thought, right? Or you're not getting to where you need to go? Is it because you're not moving? Is it because, let me just do my job? Or did you need that external force? Somebody standing over you to maybe give you a swift, what are you doing? It could be anything, right? That external force could be your boss. It could be a reduction in force coming. Something, though, is probably coming to get you moving. The law of action and reaction. For every single action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. It doesn't really tell you which direction opposite is, though. So I like to think about it as the ability to pivot. If something happens, do I have to move 180 degrees? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Have any of you shot pool? Shot pool? So billiards, when you hit that at a certain angle, give it some spin, some English, we're moving in a different direction. The other part of this that I love is energy. Energy equals mass times the speed of light. And with the theory of relativity, there's like the special theory of relativity and like the regular theory of relativity. It's all relative. It's all relative. So like, say for instance, is this a mountain? Is it a street? How far away is that ball? Or is it just, a kid playing? Perspective is everything. What that little gold ball is to anyone is viewed through the lens of their own experience. And that problem might not be a problem for you, but it's a problem for them. So thinking about conservation laws. You see my good force and my energy equations go by. Energy and force, they're the same. Conservation of energy. So I cannot just make energy disappear and I can't just create it, but I can transfer it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about transferring of energy and giving your energy to people, to things, when and where and why maybe you should do that. I think about it, like I said, it's everything being relative. So if something happens to me, I get terminated. I'm probably going to be upset about it. I'm going to feel away. But how much of my energy am I going to give to that situation? How far do I want to go? If I think about it, I'm a force, right? I'm a force, you're a force, your team is a force. We all have the ability to impact each other. And I think that often we will give our energy to things and people that we shouldn't, and we don't give them the levels of which we should. Sometimes we're not giving family the appropriate energy. We're giving it all to our job. Sometimes we are we're the stable thing, and we need someone to give energy to us. I can't pour out all the time. Sometimes I need someone to pour into me. And sometimes when we are viewing things that are, like, is this really a conflict? Is it really an offense? Why do I feel like I'm taking offense to that? Why do I think that you're coming at me, bro? What if you actually aren't coming at me? What if my perspective is just off? Everything is relative. So before you leave, that is one of the things I really would love for you to get. This is kind of how physics has managed to just shift how I think in a way that I'm able to take myself outside of a situation, flip that perspective and see, hey, what else could possibly be wrong with this? Because everything is relative. And I don't know if I need to give my energy to that. And I think that everyone should choose to move your energy wisely. Think about what you're pouring into, why you're pouring into it, whether or not you should pour into it. Take it back if you need to. Keep that in mind.